In this lesson, we'll be practicing using Griddable answer keys. I've listed some very important things about Griddable answer keys here on the screen. 1. Not every question you're asked will come with 4 multiple choice answers. We may ask you a question that's open-ended, where we expect you to find the answer independently. Using a Griddable answer key, you can indicate whether your response is positive or negative. We'll talk a little bit about how important it is to make sure you distinguish between the two. The Griddable answer key makes it absolutely critical that you consider place value when putting your answer into the key. Zeros can be used as long as they don't change your answer. In other words, you might have zeros preceding or leading zeros, or zeros being placed after the decimal. And we'll show you a few examples so that you understand when zeros could or should be used and when you should just ignore them. Finally, filling in the bubbles is critical. You can't just put your answer in the boxes without shading the appropriate bubbles as well. So let's go over a few of the things I just pointed out. First, I told you earlier that you'll need to let us know if your answer is positive or negative. Now, first, some good news. If your answer is positive, you don't need to do anything. You do not have to put the positive sign. You do not need to shade the positive bubble. If you do nothing in this box, you're telling us your answer is automatically positive. So the only time you must write something in this box is if your answer is intended to be negative. If you want us to see your answer as negative, you must put the negative sign, you must shade the negative bubble. If you do nothing, your answer is automatically positive. So shade the negative bubble and put the negative sign in that box if you want your answer to be read as negative. Place value, very important. If my answer is 5, then I need to be certain I put the 5 in the ones place. This is an answer of 5, positive 5. If I want negative 5, then I need to put the negative sign and shade the negative bubble. Also, don't forget, for any numbers that you place in the boxes, you must shade the corresponding bubble below it. This is the proper placement of the answer, negative 5. Now, if I wanted not negative 5, but maybe I want negative 50, I place the negative sign, I shade the negative bubble, and now I put 5 tens, 0 ones, and shade the 5 and 0, negative 50. Now earlier I said something about preceding or leading zeros and zeros after the decimal. Here's what I mean by that. We agree that right now my Griddable answer key says negative 50. Well, if I put zeros here and shade them, what's my answer now? Isn't it still negative 50? Have the zeros after the decimal changed my answer? No. These zeros are absolutely meaningless. They don't change my answer. They're not necessary. I can simply leave those boxes blank. I don't have to put the zeros. I don't have to shade the zeros. If I do this work, it hasn't changed my answer, so I'm still correct. But it's extra work. Why do the extra work if you don't need to? So zeros after the decimal are not required. Now, of course, I would need a 0 if my answer was 50 and 5/100ths. Of course, I need this 0 to show 0 tenths, but only if there's a value here. Let's also now talk about preceding or leading zeros. So we agree this is negative 50. We also agree that this is still negative 50. Great. Well, what's this answer? Isn't this still negative 50? If I have 0 thousands, 0 hundreds, 5 tens, 0 ones, 0 tenths, and 0 hundredths, isn't my answer still negative 50? So, yes, these zeros are unnecessary, and this is just extra work you didn't need to do. Well, the same thing is true here. Unnecessary and simply extra work you didn't need to do. When the zeros are unnecessary, don't put them. Don't do the extra work. Save yourself the time and effort and simply stick with making sure that your 5 is in the tens place and your 0 is in the ones place, indicating that your answer in this case is negative 50. Bothering with the zeros before the 50 or after the decimal is simply unnecessary. Now let's try a few problems for practice. In this first problem, a party planning guide says 3 pizzas will serve 7 people. So we need 3 pizzas for 7 people. How much pizza is needed for 350 people? So let's set up a proportion. 2 equivalent ratios. 3 pizzas for 7 people. How many pizzas for 350 people? Well, I know that I can solve this proportion using the between method. I can go from 7 to 350 by multiplying by 50. So that means I should be able to do the same thing to the pizzas. If I have 50 times as many people, then I must need 50 times as many pizzas. And 3 times 50 is 150. I need 150 pizzas. Here are 3 ways that you can put 150 as your answer into a Griddable answer key. The best way is in the first Griddable, where we simply have the number 150. 100s, 5 tens, 0 ones, with the 1, 5, and 0 shaded. Notice, since it's a positive answer, we didn't need to put positive in the box or shade the positive circle. If we do nothing with the sign, it automatically makes the answer positive. Notice the other 2 Griddables. The second one has zeros before my answer, as well as zeros after the decimal. Totally unnecessary. It's not wrong. This still says the number 150. It's just extra work you didn't need to do. And finally, the last Griddable still has 150, but it also includes the positive sign and the shading of the positive. This is also correct. You can do this, you just don't have to. Let's try a second example. A craft store offered painting classes on 12 of the 30 days in September. So they offered classes on 12 days out of the 30 days in the month of September. What decimal is equivalent to the fraction of days in September that classes were offered at the craft store? So the fraction would be 12 over 30. 12 days they offered classes out of 30 total days in the month. How do I rewrite a fraction as a decimal? I simply do the division that the fraction tells me to do. 12 divided by 30. 12 divided by 30. 30 doesn't fit into 1. It doesn't fit into 12. So now that I'm out of numbers, I need to add a decimal, push it to the top, and a 0. 30 does fit into 120 4 times. And in fact, it fits 4 times exactly. So the decimal equivalent to the fraction 12 over 30 is 0.4. Now, once again, there are a few different ways you could put that into the Griddable. Personally, I feel like the best way is the first Griddable. Put 4 in the tenths place after the decimal and shade in the circle. This shows an answer of 4/10 or 0.4. The second Griddable is also correct. It's just extra work. You don't need to indicate the zeros before the decimal, and you don't need to indicate the 0 after the 4. If it's blank, we know there is 0 in the hundredths place, or the ones place, or the hundreds place, or any of the other place values. Finally, the last Griddable shows 4 in the correct place value, the tenths, right? 4/10. It also shows us using the positive sign, which is perfectly fine. It's just not necessary. If your answer is a positive answer, you do not need to put the positive sign and shade the positive symbol. If you do, it's okay. It's just work you didn't need to do. All right, how about one last example? In this case, a teacher wrote this expression on the board. What is the value of this expression? Well, we use what's called Pemdas to simplify expressions. We start with parentheses. So we have -5 in parentheses. There's nothing to do. It's -5. Times 2, we know it's multiplication because when there's no symbol between the parentheses, it's automatically multiply. Plus, inside these parentheses, we do have an expression that can be simplified. -12 divided by 4. Well, what's 12 divided by 4? If you said 3, I agree. And when we multiply or divide integers, we know if 1 is negative and 1 is positive, then our solution is negative. So -12 divided by 4 is -3. So we've taken care of parentheses or expressions inside parentheses. We don't have any exponents. We're going to multiply or divide whichever we see first. Well, in fact, we don't see any division, but we do see multiplication. So we're going to do that next. -5 times 2. What's 5 times 2? 10. One integer is negative, one's positive, so the solution is negative. -10 plus -3. Now we're adding or subtracting. Well, the only thing we have left is addition. -10 and 3 negatives, or -10 plus -3 equals -13. We have 10 negatives, and then we have 3 more negatives, so we get -13. Here are 2 Griddables showing how we can place -13 into our Griddable answer key. The first option shows us indicating negative, which now if we have a negative answer, we must put the negative symbol in the box and shade the negative symbol below. -13 is perfectly done in the first Griddable. The negative symbol, the 1 in the tens place, the 3 in the ones place, and then shading the 3 bubbles below. In the second Griddable, this is also correct. They've placed the negative sign and shaded the negative symbol below in the bubble. They've put 13 in the correct place value, 1 in the tens, 3 in the ones. They put zeros in places where they were unnecessary. It's not wrong, it's just extra unnecessary work. The second Griddable would still be graded as a correct answer, but it's simply work you didn't need to do. So, can you do it the second way? Sure. But which one would likely be best? I'd say the first Griddable. Let's go ahead and wrap up this lesson. The purpose of this lesson was to show you how we use Griddable answer keys. That sometimes we're not given multiple choice answers to choose from. Sometimes we're asked to find our answer independently. And once we have an answer, to indicate it on the assessment or in our assignment using the Griddable answer key. Now, I did tell you that your answer will be assumed positive. That means if you don't put positive or negative, we believe your answer is intended to be positive. So the only time you have to shade a positive or negative symbol in the Griddable is if your answer is negative. If it's negative, then you must put negative in the square and then shade the negative symbol in the bubble below. Don't forget, place value is critical. If your answer is 5, where you put that 5 matters. It must go in the ones place immediately before the decimal, and then shade the bubble below. You can use zeros, but be careful to make sure those zeros don't change your answer. If you put zeros preceding your answer or after the decimal that don't change your answer, then it would still be correct, but it would be extra work. So you want to be very careful about how you use zeros in the Griddable. Finally, please make sure you remember, place your answer in the squares in the correct place value, shade the corresponding bubbles before you move on.